Hello everyone and welcome to John Drinks, the channel in which I, John, have a drink, and today we're going to be continuing on my White Mackay epic 5-part mega series saga finale firework bullshit with this. This is a vintage bottle of Isle of Jura 10-year-old. If you missed my review of the modern bottling of Jura 10, there'll be cards up here, and you'll also be able to watch my review of the Dalmore 12, which is the other White Mackay video that I've done so far. This is in response to the 50th anniversary of Richard Patterson. He's the master blender at White Mackay, and I thought it would be fun to have a look at some of the products that he's had a direct hand in, both modern and from yesteryear. Because it's not every day you get to have this kind of zany, zippy fun with that kind of a long lineage, so I'm curious to see if there's any points of difference. So far, we found that the Jura 10 and the Dalmore, whilst perfectly respectable, they're not going to set your knickers on fire, so I'm curious to see if the vintage stuff has more to offer. I want to quickly note something as well. The colour on the old Jura is significantly lighter. This is still going to be cosmeticised. But it's less cosmeticized. It's almost orange. It's super heavily coloured, whereas this one, not so much. I think they've just kind of used it to kind of bring a bit more life to it. It's still coloured whiskey at the end of the day, but, you know, when you're talking about this kind of sort of almost lacking respect for the liquid in a lot of cases, you take what you can get. If you're interested as well, in the box down below there'll be some details about what my thoughts were on the whiskey once I'm finished with it, and there'll also be links down below to various social media outposts, and also if you want to support the channel there'll be a link down to my Patreon as well. All contributions are gratefully received and there are little perks and goodies. That's all the plugging out of the way. Let's get on with the whiskey. This is going to be me opening the bottle, because I've never cracked into this before. I've discovered, over lockdown, things about myself, but also, if you want to try some auction whiskies or some older whiskies, miniatures are a great way to go. And there's a lot of them that kind of get overlooked. There might well be a few miniature collectors out there now that are being like, oh my god, what are you doing opening this? I buy to try. I don't buy it to keep it on a shelf. I'm not the kind of person to do that. I also don't buy new whiskies that I think are going to be collectible to then immediately put back onto the market. There's a lot of people doing that at the minute, and it is really fucking pissing me off. But back to this. This is Old Isle of Jura, as I think I've mentioned about 12 times now. I'm doing all these whiskies in one night, so I'll get less cohesive as time goes on. A little note to this as well, it's called Isle of Jura as opposed to just Jura. This was before sort of marketing executives got their hands on everything and went, oh, you need to make more of a statement about this. So it's a bit more of an honest presentation in that respect. It's still 40%, but I mean, that's kind of what we expect at this point. All of these whiskies are going to be 40%, I should quickly say that. It's probably just as well, really, because if some of these were 50%, I think I'd be on the floor before I got to the end of this series, because why'd I do this to myself? This was a stupid idea. Let's get on with this. So, what does the whiskey smell like? That's what we're going to start with here. Oh, huge difference! It's super citrusy. There's like a lemon, lime, orange kind of a thing going on. There's a little bit of like that old bottle effect that you get, and it tends to take the form of, I find it's kind of like smelling an old book. Different people have different approaches to that, but that's what I get from it. There is something sort of generically sweet about it, but I can't pin down a specific confectionery, if that makes sense. I almost want to say a little bit creme patty, like a bit custardy, kind of vanilla-y, creamy, super sweet. It's just a bit yellow. And if any of you out there have that thing, which names escapes me, where you associate colours and sensations, or colours and music, or colours and other things as tangible connections, you'll know what I'm on about when I say it's a bit yellow. I'm quite intrigued to try this now. There's a toasted brioche. That's what I've been trying to put my finger on. Yeah, there it is, toasted brioche. That's what it's reminding me of. miles ahead. Do you know what? If you gave me these two in a blind tasting, never in a million years would I guess that they were from the same distillery. This is reminding me of modern Bladnoch 10. And anyone who has watched any of my videos in the last month will know that is probably going to be my whiskey of the year for next year. Because I love it. It's beautiful. To give some notes, it's got this gorgeous French vanilla flavour. It's thick on the mouth. I should say thick on the palate. Thick on the mouth sounds like something else. There's a beautiful kind of like flaky pastry, sort of really buttery, rich. It opens up to red currants. There's sort of a blackcurrant jam kind of a thing going on. There is a little bit of a citrus zip as it gets towards the finish. And then as it kind of leaves you, it goes sort of into this butterscotch moment, and then it's done with you. The demand on whiskey at the minute is incredible, whereas from the period that this is from, there wasn't really a whole lot of demand for single malt whiskey, so they could take a bit more time with it, they could take a bit more care with it. It had to be a better product to compete, and now they don't have to do that. They can just churn it out. I think that approach will come back to bite a lot of these companies in the arse sooner rather than later. I think in some cases it's already doing it by some whispers that I've heard from sort of inside the circle, as it were. But yeah, if you get an opportunity to pick up a bottle of this and not put a ridiculous amount of change down for it, and because it's Jura and because of the association it probably has with the modern one, you might be able to pick this up quite cheap. I think I spent £3 on the miniature for this. And the liquid inside is phenomenal. It's fantastic. I'm going to try it with a bit of water, but it doesn't need it. I will say that right here and now. It does not need it. But we'll pop a bit in anyway. Just to sort of see. The nose is more kind of green gages. It's a bit fresher. There's like a faint menthol note to it as well. So like spearmint. Like if anyone's ever had the blue soft mints, the spearmint ones, there's that kind of minty sugariness going on. The palate's struggling with it a bit though. The nose is interesting, but I wouldn't recommend adding water to this. It's kind of fallen to bits. It's, do you know, it's sort of like if you accidentally dropped your morning croissant in the sink while you were washing your face and you went, bugger, I've got work, and just ate it anyway. You're like, I've made an oops here, but I'm still going to drink it, or eat it in that particular metaphorical bullshit that I just came up with. Phenomenal whiskey. If you get an opportunity to pick up a bottle, or even a miniature, just to try it, or try it in a bar that has it, do it. It's night and day. It really is. The difference between the two is insane. Yeah, I've no more words. The old stuff kicks the arse off of the new stuff. I had a feeling it might do. Not to the degree it has. It really is night and day. It's amazing. As you can probably tell, I really like this. Yeah, this is fine. This is really fucking good. That was my thoughts. Let me know down below. Have you had an opportunity to try any vintage white Mackay products? Have you enjoyed them? Did you have the same kind of reaction that I did? Have you done any comparisons between old bottlings and modern bottlings? Let me know down below. For now though, thank you very much for watching, and do join me next time where we'll be doing, yeah, I'll do the old Feta Cairn. Why not? That'll be a bit of fun.